Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 17 Thursday Night Football predictions between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report. The players who are out for this game are Dwayne Brown, Aaron Rodgers, Jeremy Ruckert, and Zach Wilson. As we know, Aaron Rodgers, Achilles tear, a concussion for Zach Wilson. Jeremy Ruckert also has a concussion, and Dwayne Brown with a back injury. The players who are questionable for this game are Israel Abangi. I don't even know how to say that. I'm not going to say it. Running back, ankle injury. Then we go on to the kicker, Greg Zuerlein with a quad injury. He's questionable as well. And Alan Lazard with an injury, which is not really an injury, it's an illness. So he'll be questionable for this game as well. Unknowns are Justin Hardy with a foot injury, the defensive back. The safety Ashton Davis with an abdominal injury. John Franklin Myers with an ankle and groin injury. And quarterback Trevor Siemian, who will most likely be replacing Zach Wilson today. He is also unknown, but it is most likely that he will play as he had an elbow injury. Now, as I've stated before, obviously the four players will not be playing there, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers will come back. There's no way they're going to bring out Aaron Rodgers. But then we go on to the questionable players who are Israel, also Greg Zuerlein, and Alan Lazard. When it comes to Israel, I don't really know much about him. Maybe he will play, maybe he won't. But when it comes to Greg Zuerlein, I think that he will play. I don't think he'll miss. But if they do miss the kicker, there might be an opportunity for one or two things. One, they could put a different player on as a kicker or the punter. Honestly, I'd love to see someone else, not the punter, kick a football because honestly, those moments are amazing. And then when it comes to the Alan Lazard illness, I think he'll play. Possibly. It's really unknown Tuesday and Monday's practices, but he did not practice on Wednesday, so it might lean for him to be out for this game. I think he's honestly, even though he's questionable, I honestly think he might play this week. Now moving on to the starting offense, Trevor Siemian will lead the New York Jets with Brett Rippon as his backup quarterback. Bryce Hall and Dalvin Cook would be the most likely options at running back. Israel, if he can go, he'll play. Then we go to receivers. Garrett Wilson, Jason Brownlee, and I think it's going to be either Randall Cobb, Irvin Charles, and Xavier Gibson in that order. As from all the way from first to last receiver on the depth chart. Then we get Tyler Conklin at tight end. Kenny Yeboah as the backup tight end, and Zach Kuntz just behind him. Then we go on to the left tackle position, Mekhi Becton. The right tackle will be Max Mitchell. Laken Tomlinson will be the left guard. Billy Turner, the right guard. And Joe Tippmann as the starting center. Now, I think this offense is going to have a lot of trouble against the Cleveland defense. And I do not trust Trevor Siemian. Zach Wilson, 50-50. Aaron Rodgers, even if he was going to play, because I don't think he's going to play for the rest of the season anymore. They're already eliminated, if I'm not mistaken. They're not going to risk him. But I do not trust the quarterback. I trust Breece Hall. I think they're going to hand it off to him a lot today. And then we move on to the offensive line. Dwayne Brown's down with injury, so he won't be playing, I think. If I'm not mistaken, he is not playing. But in the end, I think that the Jets offense will have to rely on the run game more on the pass game sense. Even though they got Garrett Wilson, I do not trust Trevor Siemian throwing the football. Now, moving on to the defense, we got defensive ends Jermaine Johnson II from Last Chance U. I think it was the second to last one. And we also got John Franklin Myers. On the other side, defensive tackles Solomon Thomas and Quinnen Williams. Strong side linebacker Quincy Williams. Weak side linebacker is Jamian Sherwood, and CJ Mosley will be the starting inside linebacker. Cornerbacks Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, with Tony Adams and Jordan Whitehead at safeties. So I think that this defense will be doing all right. They've lost a few key players and some good ones at that as well. But in the end, I do think that they do have a chance. But if it's Joe Flacco playing and not PJ Walker, I think that Flacco would realistically get another 300-yard game, maybe make it 4 straight 300-yard games. I think he just tied the record with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But in the end, if these guys cannot stop Joe Flacco, then the game's over and the Browns will 100% win. Now on to the injury report of the Cleveland Browns. Dustin Hopkins out for this game. Ogo Oronkwo out for this game as well. And Anthony Walker also out with this game. Dustin Hopkins with a hamstring injury. Ogbo with a pectoral injury. And Anthony Walker with a knee injury. Then we get punter Corey Bojorks. I don't know if I said that correctly. With a quad injury, he's doubtful for this game. And Amari Cooper, Marquise Goodwin, and Juan Thornhill as the questionable players. Amari Cooper with a heel injury, Marquise Goodwin with a knee injury, and Juan Thornhill with a calf injury. While unknown players are Joel Bitonio, Jerron Christian, Martin Emerson, Joe Flacco, Jerome Ford, Nick Harris, Kareem Hunt, Jordan Kunsak or something, David Njoku, Ethan Posich, Wyatt Teller, Cedric Tillman, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, and Zadarius Smith. Now, Bitonio with a knee and back injury, Jerome with a shoulder injury, Emerson has an ankle injury, Flacco with a calf injury, a wrist injury for Jerome Ford, Nick Harris with a knee injury, Kareem Hunt with a groin injury, Jordan Kunatz, whatever his last name is, with a calf injury, David Njoku with a knee injury, Ethan Posich with a stinger injury, Wyatt Teller with a ankle injury, Cedric Tillman with a knee injury, Denzel Ward with a shoulder injury, Myles Garrett too, and Zadarius Smith with a pectoral injury. Now, when it comes down to it, I do in fact believe that the Cleveland Browns will be, well, when it comes to the injuries, I think it'll really harm them. But as long as they have some key players, I do in fact believe they'll be better than the New York Jets in this game, and they'll take the win. Now, moving on to the offense of the Cleveland Browns, we got Joe Flacco and PJ Walker as the two quarterbacks, Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, and Pierre Strong as the running backs. Amari Cooper, if he cannot go in this game, then I think that the Elijah Moore will be the starter, and David Bell and James Porch and Cedric Tillman. Those will be the receivers, most likely. And then we move on to the tight end, David Njoku, Jerron Christian as the starting left tackle, Joel Bitonio as the left tackle, Ethan Posich as the center, Wyatt Teller as the right guard, and James Hudson as the right tackle. Now, I think that even though their offensive line is there, and it's a very good thing for the Cleveland Browns, the lack of players like Marquise Goodwin and possibly Amari Cooper, those are the ones that are really going to hurt them. And Nick Chubb's, when it really comes to Nick Chubb, I don't think that they've missed him that much, but he's been very missed with this Cleveland offense. But in the end, I do in fact believe that the Cleveland Browns will take the win on offense because honestly, that Jets defense is just not good. Now moving on to the defense, we got Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith as defensive ends, Dalvin Tomlinson and Jordan Elliott as defensive tackles, and we got Jordan Kunwatski, whatever his name is, as middle linebacker, Sion Taki as the strong side linebacker, Jeremiah Wusu-Koromoa as the weak side linebacker, Greg Newsom II and Denzel Ward as the cornerbacks, Juan Thornhill and and DeAnthony Bell will be the starting safeties. And if Thornhill can't go, Ronnie Hickman will take over. But in the end, I do think that this defense, even though they have some injuries such as Anthony Walker and Juan Thornhill, I think they can beat the Jets as long as they play Trevor Siemian. Obviously, Zach Wilson will be playing, and I don't think Brett Rippon will be even better. But in the end, I think that this Cleveland Browns team will be able to defeat the offense of the New York Jets. Now, to end this video, I think that the Cleveland Browns will win it 20-24. I think that will be the end score. I think the Cleveland Browns will end up taking an interception from Trevor Siemian, and that will end the game. I think that Trevor Siemian's play will be the cause for the Jets' loss. And honestly, that Browns defense, as long as Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett keep going at him all night long, this Browns team will win. And honestly, it doesn't even matter if they have to put PJ Walker on as quarterback. I think that they would win regardless, as long as the defense keeps the offense of the New York Jets at bay. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think will win and who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.